Hello everyone and welcome to a pretty interesting video. I'm sure as most of you know, Vidbit changed its name, but here is why, and here's kind of how it all started. Basically, a few days ago, Jan had announced there was going to be a big update coming out on Monday, which was yesterday, to Vidbit, and it was going to add a whole bunch of new features, and it was going to be really great. The problem was, before that even happened, there was kind of a threat, pretty much. Either a threat or somebody actually contacted Jan saying that he could potentially get sued if Vidbit did not change its name. Basically what had happened was when Jan had sold the source code and sold the domain, apparently at some point another company had picked it up and had actually trademarked the name Vidbit somewhere. I'm not sure what company it was or when it happened, but somewhere along the lines, Vidbit got copyrighted by a different company. So Jan had the potential to actually be sued because of this. So what ended up happening was the update came out early. It came out Sunday. And with that update came a name change from Vidbit to Vidly. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not sure why Jan didn't go with something like VideoByte or VidiByte or something like that, because for a long time when Vidbit Future was announced and they were thinking about changing the name not to sort of interfere with the Vidbit name, a lot of the talk around the community said rename it to VideoByte or VidiByte or something like that, and eventually the name stayed to Vidbit Future. So oddly enough, now that's kind of two instances that the name VideoByte has not been used. But that's besides the point. Thankfully, Jan did end up actually avoiding getting sued because of the name change, and now everything is fine with Vidly. There's no trouble with Vidly right now, and Jan just kind of wants to keep updating the site. He wants to keep the site up and kind of keep the momentum going that it has right now, because lately Vidly has been kind of taking off. After everybody had heard the news that it came back, pretty much all of the community has now come back, and even new channels as well. Even newer people who came into the community later on, they're on Vidly now. And it's actually going really great for Vidly. So at this point, I don't think Jan has any intentions of closing down Vidly or doing anything with Vidly. At this stage, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So I've been looking at the runtime of this video, and I've realized that if I just left it at Vidly's fine and it's not going anywhere, this video would actually be a really short video, and there would be no substance to it whatsoever. So I thought, because the runtime of this video was really short, because I talked a little bit about the name change being thrown in with the update, I thought I would go ahead and show you some of the features that have been included in that update for Vidly. And the first thing that they updated is the home page. In the last video, I kind of complained about the My Subscriptions box being kind of like a box within a box and not just being its own thing like the recently viewed and today's featured videos. But now that he's added these two new boxes here, I completely understand why it's like this now. Because now, pretty much that little box there, the welcome Crafting Lord 21 thing that you see there, it pretty much will show you everything about your channel once it's finished. Right now you have your channel stats and you have your inbox. It makes it a lot more convenient so that you don't have to go to your channel to see what your stats are, and you don't have to go to your inbox if you like have a new message or a new friend request or a new comment. You can access all of it right here. And of course, like Jan always does, I'm sure that eventually he will clean this up a little bit, but for now, as I said, he's focusing more on functionality than he is appearance, and he definitely added the functionality of looking through your subscriptions, because for some reason, something that you could not do on Vidly a while back was actually look through the older videos in the subscription box. Of course, it's still kind of a little bit buggy right now because you can't go back more than a few videos, but you at least don't have to have only a choice of 5. You can actually go back through more than 5 videos and actually access a good bulk of videos. Another thing that Jan updated was the friends section. Initially, I told Jan to just leave this section be, just leave it alone, and when this first came in, I actually didn't quite understand the change too much. I actually wasn't really quite warmed up to it, but now that I've gotten used to it a little bit and have gotten an opportunity to really look through it and see what it's about, it's actually just a more cleaned up version of what the friends list was. Basically, instead of having all the friends that you have on the left and having new friend invites on the right, you have an entire list of friends to make it to where they're a lot easier to read. You can see their stats a lot easier. You can see their last login and when they joined. It definitely makes it a lot easier to see how long they've been here and kind of what their stats are. And really, it's just the same thing as it was before, except with a better, I don't even know how to describe this, sort of a better display of what their stats are. You still have the same features to remove or unsubscribe from the friend or vice versa, or send a message, and they actually do have pages now. They have pages on this section, which is really nice. And it's pretty much the same as it was last time, except it's just a lot easier to see what the channel stats are. And the invite list is pretty much the same as that. You can add the person who's requesting you add them as a friend right here. You can just do it right here. It goes in a list, just like the friends list. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a list of stuff that makes it to where the stats are a lot easier to see. It's actually really, really nice. Now, one of the best features about this update, which I'll show you by just throwing in a little fake video here, is that now the file size has been increased. The initial file size was only 50 megabytes for a maximum of 10 minutes of video. Well, now it is 350 megabytes. So you actually have the possibility of seeing the YouTube version of this video on Vidly now. I was about to say Vidbit. I was so about to say Vidbit, but I saved myself and said Vidly. But you could actually see the YouTube version of this video on Vidly, and you might probably be watching it right now. And of course, the final part of this update comes in the channels. Jan has added some new features to the channels. Of course, it's going to take a long time for the channels to sort of get back to where they were, but it is starting to get better. Now we have the connect section where you can just easily add as a friend, send a message, comment, or subscribe, just all right there. And down here you also have the friends section there now, instead of just subscriptions and subscribers, and they also added back channel comments. And of course, if you go into settings, now if you go to customize, it is a lot better. You can see just how many options they added for customization when it comes to colors. And you can actually see, compared to last time, they did add a couple more channel widgets here. They added the favorites box and the channel comments and the friends box. The favorites box may have been there, I'm not really sure, but to my knowledge, these three are new. And Jan, I'm sorry, I'm still waiting for the pages when it comes to the, channels section over here. Still waiting for those pages, bud. But other than that, this update has definitely brought wonders for Vidly, and of course this big change from Vidbit to Vidly, it's not really that big, but I'm just going to call it big for the sake of making it just a little more dramatic. But this change between Vidbit and Vidly has actually been really, really good for the website. A lot of new features have been added, and it is really nice to know that Vidly is no longer in any sort of legal trouble, and hopefully because of that fact we can keep this site for more than 6 months. Anyway though, that'll be about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to become a crafting lord. This is Crafting Lord 21, and I'll see you guys in the next video.